Over the last 12 months, I spent more than $10,000 on mentorships and coaching programs. And honestly, some of it changed my life and some of it didn't. But this video isn't a review of what was good and what wasn't, because I noticed something I couldn't unsee. Every single one of those mentors I found through the same exact way. Not from TikTok, not from Instagram, but from YouTube. So here's what we will be getting out of this video. The real reason why people buy from YouTube, the exact steps a stranger goes through before they ever hand you $1, and what you need to be doing so that when the buyer is ready, you're the only option they pick. Quick context, so you know I'm not just here talking. I run a done-for-you YouTube agency for B2B service providers. So I spent thousands of dollars in the last 2 years on learning YouTube. So if you've been thinking or you already run a YouTube channel, but you're unsure how to get qualified leads, get more consistent with it, so click the first link in the description, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So in order for us to understand how buyers are actually buying from YouTube, I want to share with you some of my personal examples of how I found certain coaches and explain exactly the timing and why it was important for me back then. So first ever program that I bought, it was a video editor accelerator program for video editors to make more money basically. And I already had like 2 clients at that time, and I had all the skills necessary to do this service, but I didn't really have a system for getting more clients, getting paid more, pricing my services correctly. So the program I bought was from Joseph. So while I was working on these few clients, I was watching some content on YouTube, always looking for education and how to grow my business and all that stuff. And I found this guy called Joseph. He made some cool claims that I really resonated with, and I booked a call immediately with him. After watching his video for like 15 minutes, I decided, okay, this is actually pretty cool. This is exactly what might help me grow my business. So that was the time when I booked a call. Before the call, obviously I watched some more videos, and while we were on that call, I basically gave it a try. I paid for the program, and that was my first ever program that I ever bought. I was always very hesitant for buying stuff online, any courses. I was always a skeptic of this, but I thought to myself, okay, this is not really a course. This is more like a coaching program. Someone will take me actually from like 3K to 10K. That really resonated with me at that time. I knew I needed to find a way to get more clients, and that was like a natural next step for me. Then at the same time of watching Joseph's video on YouTube, I was already looking into different channels and watching content in general about content services, because I always wanted to do content. I've been editing videos since I was 14. So it's almost like 10 years now since the first time I started editing videos. So I knew that with this experience, I should definitely make more money. And at the time of watching this content from Joseph and other people, I stumbled upon a video from a guy called Arab, and he's actually one of the one and only guys who teach how to run a YouTube agency. And at the time when I started working with Joseph, obviously I didn't want to learn how to run an agency. I still wanted to at least get a few clients and get some proof of work by editing videos and doing all that stuff. And that was about April last year. And obviously I didn't have money to invest into another program, and it was not really something I was looking for. But after a few months of working with Joseph, I already got like a few new clients. I started making way more money than I was making before. And that was the time when I looked into my business and decided, okay, I don't want to edit videos anymore. I want to focus more on the strategy and actually delivering business outcomes for business owners on YouTube, so that they can just film some videos, make sure that they're targeting the right people from their videos, and get some qualified calls that way, and make a couple grand every month from it. So obviously I didn't know how to do this, but I looked into YouTube again, searched for content around running a agency, running content agency. And again, I found Eamon's content, and I already was familiar with his content. I recognized him because I watched some of his videos a couple of months back, and that recognition, that familiarity allowed me to actually take the next step and book a call with Eamon. Funny story is I actually had to DM Eamon personally to get on a call with him, because I couldn't book my call. I don't know, I probably didn't qualify for it based on my answers in the type form, but I got in a call with Eamon at the time when I was looking for help with running my agency and scaling my offer, changing my services a little bit more. That was the first person I thought of, and it felt like a natural choice, the only option available honestly in the market. I booked the call, with Eamon, and a few days after my 22nd birthday, I purchased his coaching program for 6K, and we started working together for the next 6 months. I learned a lot of stuff about like YouTube strategy in general, how to work with multiple clients, how to scale my team, and all of that stuff that I didn't know when I was working with Joseph alone, where I learned how to get clients for video editing. Naturally, I graduated from being a video editor to being now a YouTube agency guy. So I want you to realize here that whatever I bought, it was not random. Each purchase that I made mapped to a specific problem that I was stuck with at the specific moment in my journey. And that's the whole point of this video, realizing that if you can catch people with specific problems and if you can share valuable content to help them solve these problems, they'll be more likely to work with you and trust you. Now, real quick before I keep going, by the end of watching this video, if you realize that you want a channel that books you calls for your B2B service, but you don't want to spend like next 2 years learning YouTube algorithm, spending a couple grand on mentorships like I did, and learning it all the hard way, that's exactly what me and my team can do for you. Basically, install the full YouTube client acquisition system that books 10 plus qualified sales calls every month. So the first link in the description is the one that you should click right now if this is you. It will take you to a booking form where you can book a call with me, and there we can just chat and see if this is for you or not. Now back to the story. So now real quick to recap these two coaches that I've worked with. The first one being Joseph. His video immediately resonated with me because what he claimed was make more money and edit less. And that really resonated with me because I knew how to edit, but I just simply didn't know how to get more clients for it. And that alone was the opposite of what I used to believe at that time. And he shifted my belief of thinking that I have to edit more to make more. But when we actually started working together, I learned how to deliver better quality of work and charge more for it. And what happened with Eamon, it was also very interesting because I already knew him for a couple of months. And when I finally started looking for solutions to my new problems, then I reminded myself of Eamon and started working with him then, because that was like a natural graduation for me. So when you look at these two examples, there are a few mechanisms that applied and that you should know and save them for later, because basically these are the most important principles for getting clients from YouTube. First of all, shifting beliefs. If your content is educational and catches people at a specific moment in their journey, then your job is to shift their beliefs so they are ready to work with you. Then with Eamon, there's the buying window principle. So you might target some people that are not yet ready to work with you, but if they succeed by watching some of your free content and then they grow to the level when they have the budget and they're ready to work with you, you need to stay on top of their mind when the right moment comes. So the same thing happened with Eamon. When I started looking for solutions to this specific problem, scaling my offer, he was the first name that popped up in my head. And the contrast with YouTube is that people on Instagram and TikTok, they're not really searching for solutions to their problems. If you run ads and you do this for your clients, you make videos about it, and someone searches YouTube to find a tutorial on how to set up their ad campaigns, you're the one who's showing up in their results. And this doesn't happen on TikTok. This doesn't happen on Instagram. It only happens on YouTube, and that's the only platform where you can target people with real search intent and let them watch your content for like 15 to 30 minutes straight with no interruptions. So how do you actually become the person that they find when they are looking for solutions to your problems? So our foundation needs to be understanding your ICP. You need to know who you're making the videos for. So every video that you film is an answer to their questions, their objections, their false beliefs, because that's the only way to target the right people who will most likely buy from you. Now, the funnel is very simple. It's our traditional marketing funnel with top of the funnel content, middle of the funnel content, and bottom of the funnel content. So with all the videos that are targeting top of the funnel, this is the type of content where we try to catch the people who are not yet so much aware that they have a specific problem, but we talk about some of the things that they're interested in, and that's how we sort of generate that problem in their mind. And we have middle of the funnel content that basically educates your viewers on your worldview and breaks their misbeliefs, as well as provides real value with like tutorials and breakdowns of your strategies. And then bottom of the funnel is just targeting the people who are considering to work with you. That's the content where you share all the proof that you have that working with you is actually working. So if you want to go with this strategy, There's only 4 types of videos that you need to target the people on all awareness stages. So first type of content is action-based content. This is where you show your market how to solve a specific problem that they might be facing or they're not even aware that they have it. Then you have educational content, and this content basically explains why your industry, why your offer works differently than other companies. This is where you introduce your unique worldview and break the misconceptions that a lot of your prospects might have. So these 2 types of content, these are great for top of the funnel and middle of the funnel content. But then what do you actually need to film to target bottom of the funnel? The answer is very simple. First of all, we have case study breakdowns. So here you basically walk through every step that you took to get a real client result. This basically proves that you know your stuff. These are the results and these are all the steps that you took. In this type of videos, you always need to show some proof, like some screenshots, and drop some real numbers that you were able to pull for that client. Then 4th type of content is client interviews. If you have successful clients, then just get on a call with them, ask them questions for like 20 minutes, clip it all together and post it to YouTube, because this is proof to your future clients that real people actually stand by you and they're happy to get on an interview with you and share their story and their results with you. So YouTube is the only channel that helps you target solution-aware prospects at scale and become the only option that makes sense to them, the only name that pops up in their mind. They trust you before the call, you only talk to qualified leads, and there's almost no objection handling left to do because the video already did it. But honestly, doing it all yourself is practically impossible if you don't know what you're doing and if you don't have the real systems behind it. Even if you watch your competitors and see what they're doing, you'll almost certainly optimize for the wrong stuff and copy the wrong things. So if you want to avoid all of that time wasted on experimenting and learning YouTube algorithms, targeting the right audiences and getting clients from YouTube, and want to skip all the hard work of doing the research, editing the videos, and then posting them, then me and my team will run the entire thing for you. The research, the packaging, the script, and all of it. So book a call using the first link in the description, and we'll figure out if YouTube is the right move for your business. And if you want to see some other client interviews and other case studies that we've made, here's a playlist with all the videos where I explain the processes and talk with my clients, sharing all their results.